A couple years back, it might have even been last year, I was flying from Arizona to Chicago for something. I don't know what. I think I just was moving there for the summer for a job opportunity. And the morning of, I always take very early flights because I like to just get to my destination super early so I can enjoy the rest of the day. And it was the morning of my flight. It was probably like 4 a.m. and I woke up and I just started like throwing up. And that is literally one of my biggest fears. I hate throwing up. I hate seeing people throw up. So I will get super nauseous or sick if I see someone throw up. So I was like, okay, cool. 2 hours before my flight, I'm throwing up. So I got to the airport and I was still queasy and I ended up being fine. I did not throw up on my flight, but if there was bad turbulence, I definitely would have been. And that just made for like a very bad traveling day because I just kept thinking about throwing up and not thinking about throwing up, trying not to throw up, I should say.
Yeah.
And definitely one of the worst traveling experiences that I can think of.
Oh, man. For our honeymoon, my husband and I went to Japan, and the flight there was wonderful. We had this, oh my gosh, like luxury flight. And it was like a good memory. It was part of the flight, honestly. And on the way back, we had to take a train from Tokyo to the airport. And we didn't time it correctly. So by the time we got to the airport, they were basically like about to take off. And we got to the check-in counter and they were all like looking at each other like, oh God, are they going to make it? And we're like, please, we don't live in Japan. We need to make it back to the United States. Like, we're so sorry we're late. And this woman, I'll never forget here, the nicest airline employee, like, gosh, everyone in Japan is just so freaking nice, like jogged us through the airport and she's wearing high heels. And so we're just like running behind her as fast as we can. And she's doing this jog and like, we were like, it was a nice sprint, and it was like must have been like a mile from the like there to the gate.
Some customer service,
dude. Right? We're like they would never in the United States. They just be like, "Oh, you're late in your flight. Sucks to be you." In Japan, they were like, "Nope, we're gonna jog you all the way there." And like by the time we got there, my husband and I were like panting, and she's just like, "Enjoy your flight." She's just not out of breath at all. So we almost missed our plane back to the United States. But I guess that's the like worst experience I've had. But even now, it's at least we made it. We just had to hustle real hard.
I feel like the bad experiences that I have traveling are probably my own doing. Because most of the times I'm pretty notorious for missing my flight. I do that a lot. I don't want to. I try, really. I do. But it's always very close. I mean, I think if there was one experience, I always think about this one time I drove up to northern Arizona, like the west part of the Grand Canyon.
Like the South Rim?
I guess. But so my car's like 6 inches off of the ground, and I like found myself like up on this road. I was reading my Google Maps, and I guess after a while you lose service, and I ended up on this like ledge where I can like fall over and I had to like go all the way up to the top of this mountain pretty much. And it was so narrow and it was like rocks scraping the bottom of like my car. I was in there by myself. Like,
that's terrifying.
Yeah, terrified. And
Alex's Google Maps is about to take him off the edge of the
literally,
Grand Canyon.
that was the literal like that's literally what it was directing me to do.
Oh my God.
And
isn't that in The Office when like Michael and Dwight are following the directions of their like car's direction audio or whatever, and they like drive into a lake or something?
Oh man, yeah, it's not fun. But I had to put my car in neutral and just like let it roll backwards because I couldn't even do a U-turn.
Oh my God.
And then I found myself back into leaving where I came from. But yeah, I guess that was a bad experience. My car's great. My car's cool. So
nice.
Madonna's still here.
Madonna.
That's my car's name. Yeah.
She's seen some stuff. Coming in hot from the Valley of the Sun.
It's the Pop Culture Junkie Podcast.
All right. Well, happy official summer, junkies. I know It's already kind
That's
of been summer
right.
here in Arizona, but summer has officially started. I'm Nicole, and I'm here with our fellow junkies. Go ahead and introduce yourself, you two.
I'm Shauna.
And this is Alex.
And we are missing Haley this week, and we miss and love her.
Love you, Haley.
Missing in loves.
So let's just hop right into the show. Let's just get things started right away. What
do
have
it.
we all been watching this week?
There's a couple of things on Netflix. One of them is High on the Hog. It's like this food documentary, and it's incredible. I like it. The food is definitely it's interesting because they take this journey like through African American life through food. Like they take you through history with tastes, because there's not much of like African American history like recorded, but in this docu-series, they start off in Africa and they then enter the U.S. and like go through all the different cities that were impacted, or at least where there was cuisines that were evolving through time.
Yeah.
It's pretty dope. I definitely recommend it.
That sounds cool. I feel like it would make me hungry.
Yeah, it actually did that. What got me to the show was that the preview for it just looked so delicious. I was just like, I gotta have it. But it was cool that, it gives you like a history lesson, like while you're watching this food. And, you think about like how close food is to people and culture and just life in general. It feeds us life, it gives us life.
Right. And like all those recipes passed down from generation to generation, I'm sure. And just like that's what keeps like cultures alive. It's just like passing things down, and you teach your kids and then they teach their kids. And
yeah. They're actually in the show.
Beautiful.
There were like descendants of some of the slaves that were chefs and that were like creating these meals, and like how it evolved. And because that's what, it starts off in Africa. So it gets real deep into just like, African American history and the experience that they've had.
That sounds cool.
Yeah, it's pretty dope.
So you're popping it.
Yeah, I would definitely pop it. And another one, in this Amazon Prime Day show, they feature 3 artists. So her, Kid Cudi, and Billie Eilish. And each of them have their own episodes. And through these episodes, they kind of like tell their own story. They're all going through something. I mean, that's what a story is, obviously. Mm-hmm. But it's cool because like the first one, her, like has like this American Horror Story-ish kind of vibe, like the hotel one. She's like Taraji P. Henson's in it, and they're taking her through like the hotel, and like she's performing, and like Kid Cudi is like going he's going to start a colony on the moon, and so like he's the first person being sent. So it kind of goes with his like Man on the Moon trilogy, through his albums. And then Billie Eilish, it's kind of like a day in Paris, and like she like helped direct it. And that one's interesting too, because like there's no dialogue, but there are subtitles. So it's like funny how
like a silent film almost.
Yeah, so something actually, yeah.
Like a French silent film. That sounds cool. Exactly. Like interesting concept videos.
Yeah,
nice.
So those are on Amazon.
Very cool. I'm gonna have to give that a whirl. So I watched Loki episode 2. So slight Loki spoilers in 3, 2, 1. Okay, so I really liked this episode. I like any chance that they can get outside of the TVA. Like, I'm really enjoying the show so far, but sometimes when they're in that office building, I'm like, I understand the colors are supposed to be muted and it's supposed to be like kind of the 60s office vibe, but sometimes when they're in there for too long, I'm like, okay, let's get some other landscape going on. So when they went to Pompeii and Loki's like, nothing matters, and he's just like throwing everything in the air, I thought that was amazing. And I guess it's either going to be Lady Loki or it might be Enchantress, actually, who showed up at the end. So Lady Loki is a character in Marvel Comics who is a lady who is Loki. But then there's also fans noticed that I think it's the Mexican version of the show, the subtitles listed her as Sylvia. And that is the name of Enchantress, who is an entirely different character in the Marvel Comics. So I guess we're going to have to stick along to see if that's either Lady Loki or if that's Enchantress. I mean, she did say, like, when Loki was like, what do you even want me for? And she's like, this isn't about you. I'm like, maybe she's not a Loki at all. This is like major plot points going forward. It looks like in the end, we'll just call her Lady Loki for now, basically restarted the multiverse. And I'm thinking that's her plan. I mean, she wants to restart the multiverse. All those timeline kind of like branches were coming off.
This is the second episode?
Yeah, it looks like this is going to be the restart of the multiverse. I think we were talking about that last week, how we're like, okay, by the end of the show, there's obviously going to be a multiverse again. So it looks like they're kind of planting the seeds for that with all these branches coming off of the sacred timeline. So pop it for Loki. It's really been good so far. Staying on the Marvel path, my husband and I are still doing our Marvel rewatch. We're doing it in release date order. So we just finished Captain America and the Winter Soldier, and then we watched Guardians of the Galaxy. Both amazing films. And like, I feel like I just told you, Alex, it's like once you get to Captain America Winter Soldier, you're like, okay, now these movies are getting like real good. Like,
definitely.
I mean, they're all good, but you kind of make it through Iron Man 3 and like Thor in the Dark World.
I think that's where I stopped, and I've never gone back. And it's been a few years since.
Man.
Yeah, you're a lot stronger than me, obviously.
I'm also a huge Marvel fan, so it's not like I have to sit through these movies.
And I've seen them already too. So it's like I look at it and I'm like, oh, I already saw it.
Yeah. I really enjoyed those, and I always have fond memories of Winter Soldier because that's when my husband proposed to me outside of the movie theater. So I'm always like, cool. We were watching the movie and I'm like, were you nervous now? And he's like, no, Shauna, I was watching the movie. And then later, I'm like, how about now? He's like, no, this was a really important part of the movie. I'm like, well, when did you get nervous? He's like the credits, basically, okay? And then finally, week to week, I watch an anime called My Hero Academia. It is probably my second favorite anime. I think my first is Attack on Titan. Yeah. But My Hero Academia is so good. I know I've talked about it before on the show, but it's a group of high schoolers who are basically going to hero school to learn how to use their superpowers to become heroes someday. And it is based on a manga. The manga is far ahead. So I don't read that, and I don't know exactly, people who read that are like, you only made it to the blah, blah, blah. Don't tell me what happens next. Don't tell me. But it's been really good. All the characters in Class 1A just battled against Class 1B. So it's like the B squad versus the A squad to see who's better. And of course, the A squad won. They're the main characters. But it looks like they're going to start getting into some really good villain arcs going forward. So pop it in My Hero Academia. I love that show.
I think I watched a PBS show called My Hero Academy or something like that. Where like these kids are like heroes. So it reminds me of
really?
That. But I definitely have to give My Hero Academia a try. Like, that sounds like my kind of show.
I think you would like it. Like, it's definitely. I don't like animes that have fan service where, like the girl's skirt flies up or her, oh my God, I tripped and fell into your boobs. And that happens in a lot of animes. And it always takes me out of it. But like My Hero doesn't have that. They have strong female and male characters. Like my niece likes it and she's 12. And adults like it too. I feel like it's just for everybody. And I think you'd really like it. It does remind me, I think there was like a Disney movie called like Hero High School or like Sky High. There you go, Sky High. And I think they're all like trying to go to Hero High School too. So it's definitely a concept that's been done before, but I think they do it really well in My Hero Academia.
Yeah, your description of the like A team versus B team reminded me of Cobra Kai.
Yeah. There's definitely a lot of angst there. Like they just think we're the B squad. We'll show them, and then they get their asses kicked. So what did you watch this week, Nicole?
I watched a couple things. I obviously watched The Bachelorette that aired on Monday. It was actually a very good episode. It opened up with a continuation of last week's episode because drama went down and they couldn't fit it all in the 2-hour span, and also to keep the viewers coming back for more next week.
Drama.
Like I said, it was a good episode. They had a group date, and the group date was with Nick Viall, who was on a previous season of The Bachelorette, and then I believe he became The Bachelor. Could be wrong. I don't know.
He went on the date with her?
So he led the date. So during episodes, I always bring back people from previous seasons to like lead the date or just give advice and stuff. So he was on it.
Okay.
And the date was the guys getting vulnerable and kind of telling Katie, who is the bachelorette right now, like things they've been through. And actually, a lot of the guys opened up. One of them, afterward, he went up to Katie and he was like, hey, like I went through this really terrible thing. My wife had cancer. She passed away. But like I'm ready to fall in love again. And they just had a really good bonding moment. And then she opened up about something super personal that she went through that she's never shared with anyone, not even her mom. So it was like kind of not good.
I think I saw a headline about that.
Like the thing she opened up about was sad, but
yeah, she said that she had been in a situation where she didn't provide consent to a guy.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
That's awful.
So I definitely would pop this episode just because of the vulnerability that you'd never really see in The Bachelor. It's usually always drama. So I would definitely pop it.
Is the guy from the box still there?
To be honest, I don't even know.
I missed it. I want to go watch it now that you're like mentioning all of this. And because I've noticed or at least like in the first episode, I kind of noticed kind of like that vulnerability. Or at least the second the episode that I watched previous to this one. Why am I getting giggly about this? This is so weird. Why am I like, oh my God, I gotta go turn my TV on?
Gosh, I'm glad I'm getting you into it. Definitely watch it.
Alex needs a charcuterie board and a bottle of wine tonight.
Right?
Do not text him. He is busy. Okay.
For real.
This is me time. Okay. I'm going to have a bubble bath after this. Okay. I love that journey for you, Alex.
Thank you.
Send me live updates.
But not from the bubble bath.
No, yeah, I don't need the pictures, just text messages. But anyways, I've been watching this other show, and it's on its second half of the first season. It's called Emergency Call, and it's with Luke Wilson. I believe it's on ABC. And it is 911 operators answering emergency calls. And some of them are super interesting. They go from Alaska, Texas, Louisiana, Wisconsin.
And they like play the calls for us to listen to? Yeah, it's the actual
calls. They don't really show like video, obviously, because they don't have video. It's just at the 911 station, whatever you want to call it.
Do they do like recreations or anything? I love a good dramatic recreation.
No, they don't. It's usually just a 911 operator's face and like their reactions to the call and how they handle the situation. And the emergencies that are on there literally span from one episode there was like a peacock in the middle of the road, from another of a girl who
lost her peacock.
Yeah.
I hate it when that happens.
Like a shooting, kidnapping, like stuff like that. Like it gets really deep and serious.
Was the peacock okay?
I think so.
You got me, girl. I'm on the line here. Was the peacock okay?
Definitely would pop it. I like.
And Luke Wilson hosts.
Yes, yeah. Nice. So he kind of just gives previews as to what the next call is going to be, and then it goes into the situation. It's really good. I like stuff like that. Don't know why, but like murder documentaries, stuff like that. I love that type of stuff. So definitely pop it. And then going into the sports world, I know we can talk about that for a little bit. We all have some exciting information.
Lots of sports news this week.
Yes. We have the White Sox, which is my baseball team. I know I'm from Chicago, and everyone always asks, oh, so you're a Cubs fan? No. I'm a White Sox fan. But they are first in their division, and I believe they're like fourth or fifth overall in the league. So that's really exciting because they haven't been that great the past few years. So it's good to see a good team, but a lot of their star players are hurt, which sucks.
Go Sox.
What makes the difference between a White Sox fan and a Cubs fan? Is it regionally, like on like board, like is it like different towns or something? Like how does I don't know those like double
so obviously we know Chicago's a huge city, and there's a north side, a south side. So the White Sox come from the south side, whereas the Cubs come from the north side. So if you were born and raised or just grew up in the north side, you're more than likely a Cubs fan. Whereas if you're on the south side of Chicago, you're more than likely a White Sox fan. But you do get the mix of, obviously, Cubs fans at the south side, White Sox fans on the north side. But that's basically how it's differentiated. And the rivalry is very strong and very serious. There's always fist fights at the games between. If it's like a Cubs-White Sox game, there's always fist fights. There's no doubt that there will not be a fist fight.
It reminds me of the Red Sox and the Yankees fighting.
Yes.
There's 2 different teams that have socks.
Yeah. Wait, did you not
Why
notice?
is that a thing? Why did I never realize that?
Socks come in all colors.
Yeah, but like, why not like underwear or like shoes? Why
Red
socks?
gloves.
Yeah, the red gloves. Like, I'm going to think about this all night now, guys. Just socks. Let's see here. Other sports news. The Phoenix Suns are doing really good. Yes, they are in the Western Conference Finals right now. They won game 1, which I went to. Oh my gosh, this game was ridiculous. Like, it was so close the entire freaking time. I was going insane. Chris Paul is still out on COVID protocol. We don't know how much longer that's going to go on for. But they won, and it was down to the last minute, and it was so exciting. So go Suns. Big Suns fans here, pop culture junkie. I want to talk about Carl Nassib from the NFL. You guys been following up with that story?
Yeah, I saw that.
I have.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's a Raiders defensive end, and he used his Instagram to come out as gay on Monday, and he is the first active NFL player to come out as gay, which is shocking to me that either no one has yet. Maybe they haven't felt comfortable. I'm sure that it's a stressful environment when you're surrounded by that much masculinity and just how are people going to perceive me? And good for him. Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Good job, Carl Nassib.
Yes.
We're
Yeah,
very
that's what's
happy
up.
for you. Yeah, that's awesome.
Hi, I'm Haley the Brave, teacher and mom by day, cosplayer and pop culture junkie by, well, also by day. I'm obsessed with all things fandom, and I love to talk about it. So join me and some of my friends as we geek out about TV, movies, music, and all the awesome things that make life worth living. Listen to my podcast, 30, Nerdy, and Thriving, available now on all major streaming platforms.
All right, well, let's jump into some news for the week. Who wants to start us off? What do we have going on this past week?
Ooh, I want to talk about Victoria's Secret.
Go right ahead.
I'm about to spill what the secret is. Okay, I found out. Don't tell anyone. Breaking here. Don't tell anyone, as I'm telling everybody on the podcast. It's a secret. Okay. Actually, so Victoria's Secret announced recently that they are canning the angels. So those very tall, slim, iconic goddess-looking women with the big wings, in order to have more body diversity, more inclusivity, and really just kind of show a full range of what, shapes and sizes and colors bodies come in. Imagine that. We all have different bodies. So I think that's great. Victoria's Secret's sales have been declining a lot in recent years. One of their head honchos kind of made some comments a couple years ago, basically saying that their products are only for a certain type of woman and they only want people to look a certain way. And obviously that wasn't well received. And and there's absolutely the Victoria's Secret angels are beautiful and there's nothing wrong with their bodies either. It's just the, idea that they kind of presented that this is the ideal body and this is the only one that matters. And this is what we should all be striving for. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So are angels, they specific, have to be specific measurements or something, or can anybody be an angel?
No. Back when Victoria's Secret was really riding its wave in the late 90s and the early 2000s and stuff, the angels were very specific body types. They were all very tall, very slim, huge breasts. You had to look an exact certain way to be an angel, basically. And they would have fashion shows every year where the Victoria's Secret angels would walk the runway showing off Victoria's Secret lingerie, and they'd have these big elaborate wings. And viewership of Victoria's Secret fashion shows dropped so much in recent years. I remember watching those with my roommate in college, and literally we would be like, I don't feel like eating for the rest of the night. Oh my God. And I worked at Victoria's Secret, so we would always have to have these big team meetings the day of the fashion show. And we made a big old deal out of it. But Tyra Banks was a Victoria's Secret angel back in the height of her modeling career. And she released a statement. And of course, she made it all about Tyra because that's what she does. But she is like, I was the first, Black angel and the first Black Sports Illustrated model. And that's true. And like, hell yeah. But, she's like, but there needs to be more firsts beyond that. And I'm glad that these models that they're introducing now get to like move the brand forward even more than I did back in the day. Mm-hmm. But she's right. She made it about herself, but she's right. So Megan Rapinoe is going to be one of them. She is from the U.S. women's soccer team.
Is it Rapinoe or Rapino?
Ooh, I'm not sure.
I think it's Rapino. I've always heard Rapino.
We need round 2 of the Junkies name pronunciation game. So they're going to rebrand. So instead of having, like angels, which kind of like, I think has a connotation of like perfection attached to it, heavenly and goddesses. Like these are just going to be Victoria's Secret models, basically, or spokespeople. So they're calling it the VS Collective. Priyanka Chopra Jones is going to be one. Megan Rapinoe, amongst others. So yeah, I think it'll be a lot better for the brand. So I'm excited to see what they do. I've always been a Victoria's Secret fan just because I really think they make good quality underpants. But I've said underpants twice in this episode.
Drink for every time Shauna says underpants.
Undies! All right, what else is going on, y'all? Besides undies.
So Billie Eilish is going to be on the cover of Rolling Stone magazine, and I'm very excited for her. Obviously, we all know I love her. And if you are playing,
do?
I do. I know it's probably breaking news, but if you're playing our drinking game, get ready to refill your drink because we will be talking more than just her magazine cover. There is some controversy going around about her, unfortunately. There's edited video going around of her mocking the Asian culture. She was 13 or 14 when she recorded a video of herself just mouthing the words to a song, and at the time she did not know that one of the words that she mouthed was a derogatory term towards the Asian community. And I did see the video, and it's just like a montage of mini clips all edited together. Yeah. In the video, it's like it happened so quick that I didn't really see her do it, but they put like the word at the bottom of the video, so once I saw it back, I actually could see her mouth the word. And she did come out with a statement on her Instagram, and it was quite lengthy, so I'll just sum it up for you guys. She said that she wants to talk about this. I believe the video came out earlier this month of June, and she's now making an apology or coming out and talking about it. She says that she was 13 or 14 when she mouthed the word from a song, and at the time she didn't know it was a derogatory term because nobody in her family's ever said that word, or nobody around her has ever said that word, so she didn't know the meaning of the word at the time. And she was just mouthing it because it was the lyrics to a song. And she said, regardless of ignorance and age at the time, nothing excuses the fact that it was hurtful, and for that I'm sorry. And then there's another video of her where she is talking what she calls gibberish. So she's just literally making noises with her mouth, and it's coming off as if she's mocking how the Asian culture talks or speaks, how they have like their language. I can't really.
I know what you're trying to say.
Okay,
it sounds
I'm
like she's
trying to say it in
mock
an appropriate manner where it's not. But yeah, so she's doing that, and she says that she's been talking like this, like in a gibberish form, for literally her whole life, and everyone who's been around her whole life knows this, and that she would never, ever offend a language or do that in any sort of way. And she said she didn't mean for any of her actions to cause hurt to others, and it absolutely breaks her heart that it's being labeled now in any way that might cause pain to people hearing it. She says that she believes and is always working hard to use her platform to fight for inclusion, kindness, tolerance, equity, and equality. And then she says, she ends her statement by saying, we all need to continue having conversations, listening, and learning. I hear you and I love you. Thank you for taking the time to read this. She is 19 now, so it's been 5 to 6 years since she recorded the video. So I do believe people can grow from their past. Yeah. I do not believe in cancel culture. I think it's very dumb, in my opinion. So I don't believe she needs to be canceled for it. But I do believe she needs to think about what she's done, and like she said, she's growing from it already, and she seems like she's very into equality and stuff like that. So I want to believe her apology, one, because I love her, and two, because it seems so genuine, but it's still kind of like, crap, why did you have to do this, you know?
I absolutely believe her apology. I agree that people can grow and change, especially, I mean, she recorded that she was a child. And like she said, nothing excuses it, you know, and if children of color are, you know, old enough to experience racism, then white children should be old enough to learn about not being racist.
Sure. Yeah.
But, you know, I do believe her that if she didn't know what the word meant, she just was singing a song. Like, so I think it's just a growing opportunity. And like, cancel culture is such an interesting term because I go back and forth a lot on this. It's like, on one hand, I totally agree with holding people accountable for their actions. If it comes to light that a celebrity, anybody, but I guess we're just talking celebrities right now, did something that was really messed up, that was racist, sexist, homophobic, transphobic, then they should absolutely be held accountable for it. And, you know, like, but I think it's, okay, like J.K. Rowling, people are like, oh, this coming off a little transphobic girl. And then she just doubled down on it. And she's like, well, yeah. I mean, yeah, then cancel that bitch. Like, she doesn't deserve my money or my fandom anymore. I still love Harry Potter, which sucks. But you know what I mean? Like, she doubled down on it and was basically like confirmed, yeah, I'm a transphobe. It's like, okay, well then, yeah, you're canceled. But if it's like Billie Eilish, you know, made a mistake years ago and it was a mistake, she came out, owned it, apologized for it, didn't try to brush it under the rug and be like, oh, that wasn't me, that was edited, I would, you know, never. She's like, yeah, I did this and it sucks and I'm really sorry. Then it's like, yeah, okay, thank you for like teaching your fans that you own up to your mistakes, you apologize, and you be better moving forward.
No, yeah, that definitely helped me understand cancel culture. Because, like, for me, I'm like, why, you know, and it makes sense, you know. I feel like that's probably where it started, just, and, you know, making people accountable for it. And then, you know, somehow, you know, it got into just society and just people created this.
Spiraling a little bit, yeah.
And finding, you know, reasons to, you know, hold people accountable to things, which, you know, just like you're saying, like if they're taking accountability or if they're just continuing with their nonsense, then, you know, that's when you can decide what the difference is.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think it depends on the severity of what the person did too. I mean, obviously, if you're Bill Cosby, you're canceled. I don't care how many times you say sorry.
Okay, that I get.
You're canceled. Yeah.
I even hate thinking about him. Like R. Kelly, like I had a whole playlist dedicated to his kind of music. But like that guy is gross. It's like, I mean, and I feel like he filmed it. Like, what the? I just get irked. And I'm like,
exactly.
Man.
Like, what are you doing, bro?
I changed my like bump and grind playlist to nice and slow. You know, I feel a lot better now.
It's just not the same,
honestly,
man.
I'm honestly like, I can't even think about it. Like, if I do, like,
it's disgusting.
I enjoyed his music, but every time I think of his music, I think of him now. And I don't like talking bad about people. And now I'm over here, like, saying all these things. But this, being like, come on.
I mean, but he made some ridiculously heinous mistakes. It's like, I used to like Marilyn Manson. I used to be a Marilyn Manson fan, like any good emo goth kid, but like he's gross. And I completely stand with the women who are coming out against him. And so I think those are the two. It's always nuance. I think every situation, people just need to look at every situation individually and find the nuance in it. If you are a rapist, then you're canceled. Like, if you're a kid who says a bad word 5 years ago, then maybe we should cut you some slack.
I've been hearing a lot of like comedians talk about cancel culture, and like a lot of comedians, like from like, you know, just like up to like 10 years ago even, you know, would have dirty homophobic or like, you know, or like just offensive jokes. And
things that flew back in the day. Yeah.
And there's like comedians like Kevin Hart and Eddie Murphy, and, you know, even just like, you know, Dave Chappelle talks about it, like how cancel culture affects the comedy culture and like all the other places that comedy dibbles and dabbles in. But that's why I feel like it's such a cancel culture, such a I hate that it's a thing and it's so complicated.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely complicated, and I can see where comedians could be frustrated because obviously if you're a comedian, you try to push those boundaries. But I think you can push the boundaries and be inappropriate and say dirty words and be funny without being derogatory to an entire group of people.
Yeah.
You know, like I like to think that I'm pretty funny, but like I would never like use humor to punch down or to be racist or anything like that. Like I can still be silly and funny and make people laugh without being completely hurtful. So
for sure.
And I think also like I like it when comedy, like when you're able to make fun of yourself. Like I always think if I'm like a stand-up comedian, I would probably go up there and make fun of white chicks because I'm allowed to. So I don't know. I read recently too that like Seth Rogen said that he's not going to work with James Franco anymore. Yeah, because all of these women have come out with sexual abuse allegations against Franco. Man, I used to freaking love James Franco.
Yeah, I don't even want to. I just I can't even.
Yeah. Right? I can't even. Yeah, and that's I'm glad that we're not canceling Seth Rogen for ever making movies with James Franco because like now he's like, I found out this guy sucks and now I'm not going to work with him anymore. And even Rogan has said things like, yeah, some of those jokes we made back in the day are, looking back, I cringe and like probably, things that I wouldn't say now, but I can't take them back. They're on film, like, but I just going forward know that I'm a better person. I'm like, that's how you do it, man. That's how you do it.
Yeah. I mean, that could just also be just how the art or the talent evolves with time because it's so because like you're saying, like comedians, like they take in real life situations or like how they understand it or how they experience it, and so I mean, I guess they already started, but making jokes of like what's happening with this whole cancel culture and stuff, and just evolving, like and making them challenging them and even more like to think more I guess differently.
Yeah, I mean, it challenges them to be more creative. Honestly, if you're resting on jokes making fun of like gay people or black people in 2021, then you really are not a very good comedian. Like, come on, bro. Like,
yeah, and I mean, you make a good point. I feel like you've been giving all these tips and pointers, all this advice today, Shauna.
Just dropping truth bombs, man. I'm on it today.
Yeah. All right, take notes, people. Take notes.
All right. Well, that about wraps up the episode. I'm glad we could have more of a serious talk this week instead of just, the fun and outgoing parts of our show that we always love and admire. But
all the butt stuff that we usually talk about.
Of course, yes. Yeah. But where can the people find you?
Well, you guys can find me at ALCASNUN on Twitter and Instagram.
You can find me, Shauna Trinidad, at Shauna Trinidad. SHAUNATRINIDAD.
And you can find me, Nicole, on Instagram and TikTok at Nicole_Eldridge and Twitter at NAEldridge14. You can find the Pop Culture Junkie podcast on any platform you listen to podcasts. You can find it on our website over at popculturejunkie.com. You could join our Pop Culture Junkie support group over on Facebook where we talk about the episodes. We post anything that we want pop culture wise and get the conversations going. Follow us on Instagram at pop.culturejunkies, Twitter at popjunkies, and please like, subscribe, download, review, share with your friends, mom, dad, fish, pet, I don't care.
We also want to thank everybody who voted for our man Alex to be in the top 50 dads in podcasting for Podcast Magazine. Alex came in at the big number 38.
Oh man!
Congrats, Daddy!
Wow!
Yes, congrats.
It was a nice little Father's Day surprise.
Yes, your first Father's Day, right?
Yeah. It
was your first Father's Day. Did your kid get you anything good?
Some laughs and some
a poopy diaper.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the huge. That's all I want.
How nice of him. Aw.
Yeah.
Well, we're on to bigger and better things with you here, Alex. So very happy to have you.
Number 37 next year.
Yes. Well, that is it for us junkies. Please join us next week for more of your pop culture fix.
Pop Culture Junkie is a production of Pop Culture Entertainment Group. All rights reserved.